Right, so one of you guys in the comments asked me to cover the iPad mini 7 and the features and release date we can expect, and at that point there were no new leaks, but our favourite supply chain source Minchiquo has given us new details, and so let's delve into it. So according to Minchiquo, he says the iPad mini 7 should launch either in late 2023 or early 2024. Now of course, for those wondering about what features to expect, unfortunately this does not sound like a very exciting upgrade. It should apparently just get a new processor, that's going to be the big change. And so yeah, this should be a spec bump for the most part. And I guess that does make sense because the iPad mini 6 was a big change. It gave us a new design, the first new design since the OG iPad mini actually, and of course we got an array of new features. So Apple's not going to follow this up with another big change. It's very likely Apple wants to keep the design the same for a few more years. However, I do wonder what this new processor could be, because on one hand Apple could do the boring thing and give this a new version of the A series chips, or of course Apple could do the more exciting thing, which is give this the power of the M series chips. So why I think this could be a possibility is because we should see an iPad Air 6 launch around this time frame as well, because Apple does update the Air lineup every 18 months. And while in the past the iPad Air and the Mini have had the same specs, and so since the Air's already got the M1 chip, and is most likely going to get the upgrade to the M2 or the M3 chip, the iPad mini could follow suit. And actually I mentioned this on Twitter and a lot of you guys had many thoughts regarding this, and specifically Nightfall made a very good point. The A15's already pushing the limit of what the form factor of the iPad mini can power, because giving this a very power hungry chip, especially in that smaller form factor, could cause overheating issues. And so yeah, maybe because of that, Apple's going to stick with the A series chips. And to be fair, the regular A series chips are fine for the iPad mini because most are using their mini as simple tablets to browse content and watch videos on, so the A17 chip should be plenty good. Now some of you guys might remember some early reports did suggest we could see 120Hz on a future iPad mini refresh, and so some of you guys might be wondering, are we going to see that with the iPad mini 7? And well, I don't think so, because in the world of Apple, 120Hz is called promotion, so of course giving the regular iPads a Pro feature would not make sense. Plus, most consumers don't care about 120Hz. And yes, I know there was a jelly scrolling issue with the iPad mini, but to be honest, I don't think average consumers pick up on this. In fact, iPad mini sales have been very good, and so clearly the display is not an issue for most consumers. And so yeah, I think it's going to remain the same for the most part. The only possibility the iPad mini gets 120Hz is if the Air adopts it first, and that does not seem likely right now, so yes, I'm not expecting a high refresh rate display on this. So yeah, this iPad mini is really going to be quite a boring refresh. Expect a new chip and basically nothing else. We could be lucky in getting new colours. I would love to see more vibrant colours with the iPad mini, similar to of course the new base iPads. But yeah, that's about it. Now I'm sure some of you guys might be gutted by this news, but Quo says there were initial plans to kill off the Mini and replace it with a foldable iPhone/iPad hybrid, something similar to the Oppo Find N. Now personally I would be down for that. However, it seems that we're not getting this foldable anytime soon, hence why Apple's giving us a refresh to the iPad mini. But honestly guys, I am 100% down for an iPad mini that folds up and can be used as a phone on the go, because that would take productivity on a mobile device to a whole new level. But also those who just want to watch content on a bigger display on the go, this would be perfect. So yes, hopefully the foldable does materialize, and if we do get it with a display that has no crease, is as durable as glass, and basically has little to no compromises, then yes, Apple should kill the mini off and replace it with the iPhone Fold. But for the time being, of course, expect this refresh. Now regarding the release, I know Quo quite vaguely says late 2023 or early 2024, but I'm placing my bets on an October 2023 release via a press release, because of course this will be a very minor refresh, so there's no point announcing this on stage. Just make it a simple site refresh, similar to the iPad 10 release and the M2 iPad Pros. Anyways, let's delve into your questions. So at 1CTF regarding 120Hz on the iPad mini says, even though 120Hz on the iPad mini would be amazing, I don't think Apple's going to make a whole new one with 120Hz this year. I think if they're considering it, it would be with the next generation model. I would love it though if they made 120Hz work on the iPad mini 6. So yes, I do agree with this for the most part. I think it would be nice if the iPad mini 6 had 120Hz, and it would be nice for the iPad mini to adopt this with future versions. However, like I said previously, I don't think many consumers care about this, and giving promotion to a regular iPad would be odd. And so yes, the chances of 120Hz are super low right now. However, like I've been discussing with the regular iPhone models, it would be nice if Apple created a mid-tier option called AirMotion that of course provides 90Hz to all the mid-tier Apple products, so the regular iPads and the regular iPhones could gain this upgrade. And that would be nice because 90Hz is a big upgrade from the regular 60Hz panels we have right now, but also of course the Pro models would still have the advantage with ProMotion, and so the techies wanting the best of the best displays, they will still get the Pro iPads. However, those who don't care as much about high refresh rates but don't want 60Hz, they can now buy the mid-tier iPads and mid-tier iPhones. So yeah, let's see if Apple does that with the iPad mini 7. So GAG Bro says, I adore my iPad mini and I'm not expecting a refresh for at least 2 years. So yes, I would actually agree with you, but of course, Quo now says otherwise, and I honestly thought Apple was not going to be touching the iPad mini for 3 to 4 years, but considering the sales units for this have been pretty solid, Apple now has an incentive to give this semi-regular updates. And actually, I just realized the new base iPad has the A14 chip, and so the 2023 version of the base iPads should be gaining the A15 chip, and it would be pretty odd if the more expensive iPad mini did not have a much better chip. And so I think that's another reason why we're seeing this refresh. So Hello Tech says, why would the iPad Pro 12.9-inch exist when it has a larger screen and real estate than the MacBook 12-inch? Well, these are completely different products. You really can't compare these because one runs iPadOS, one runs macOS, one has a touchscreen, one doesn't. One is detachable from the keyboards, one isn't. And so you really can't compare these devices, especially when those buying the bigger iPads are those who do art on the iPads and they can't get a MacBook instead. So yeah, those are my thoughts guys, but of course, let me know your thoughts regarding this in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video above on details regarding the 2023 MacBook Pros, and on that note, see ya peeps.